Hello, hola, good afternoon. How are you, Tino?
I am good. I am good.
Agustin. I don't like calling you Agustin. Hey, everybody. This is, of course, the one of a kind show, The Face of a Hero. And we want to welcome you back every Thursday at what time, Agustin?
8 p.m. Central, Thursday evening.
That's right. And we want you to share this show to your friends and family. And if you know of a hero, you got to let them know that they need to come on this show. And why do they need to come on this show, Tino? I was thinking, why?
They need to come on our show because we are providing a platform for them to talk about um, what it is to be a hero. And that is from first responders to EMTs to anybody in the medical field that has to do with saving somebody's life.
That's
That is a
right.
hero.
That's right. And, you know, I just got word. Well, it was several days. A tragedy happened, and we were talking about how some parents leave their weapons in places that children can reach. It is a tragedy. And so, what I've read in the paper, my condolences, first of all, to the family. I know it's hard to bury a baby. She was only 2 years old, 2 years young.
Wow.
Um, what I read is that they provided counseling for the EMT personnel. This is the first time I've read it in a newspaper article. That and I couldn't imagine what they confronted, what they saw, right? And I think our EMTs are heroes. Many times we don't give them enough respect or credit because they're the first responders.
That's right.
It could be a police officer that shows up first, but more than likely, if someone called for an ambulance, it's an ambulance that's coming. And so, with that, I want to, commend them for what they do. There are lifesavers, right? I think. Uh, at least I
They are.
hope that they are, right? I mean, as first responders, as EMTs, they go through training, they go through how to save a person's life, whether it's through a fire, gunshot wound, or heart attack, or congestive heart failure, or whatever the case may be, or a car accident. They too see some stuff,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. It is tragic to be a EMT because, like you said, the first responder, another first responder that I can think of is a Minuteman on the expressway. When they get to a tragic accident, and if they are the first ones there, it's it's unimaginable what they are seeing.
Yeah. What and so, we don't often think about our heroes. And as we've said this on this show, and this platform is for our heroes. This platform is not for Dean or for me. This
Exactly.
platform is for the audience to hear what it's like to be in their show. I mean, in their shoes. Is that Hunter? We're going to
Yeah,
bring Hunter on the show right now. He's trying to make a presence.
he is trying to make a presence.
What kind of a dog is that? I was thinking.
He is my Doberman pincher, and he says, "I want to be on the show."
And I'm glad that he made some noise and said something because we also have dogs that are first responders, that are heroes,
That's right.
the ones that go with the police officers.
And some that come to mind are the um, the rescue dogs or the search dogs of, let's say, with the earthquake that just happened in Turkey, in Syria. So they send their dogs in there to go look for any signs of life. So they are.
Yeah. Life, drugs. I mean, and what I'm hearing also, and I'm going to thank Thunder when I see, Thunder, listen to me. I'm gonna I'm gonna thank your son because some people do consider their
That is my
mascots,
son.
their animals as their family member, right?
Yes.
Um, I'm going to thank him because it made me think about how many dogs are being used throughout the country or other countries to help save a life. What I've heard, and maybe you have too, I was thinking that their animal felt something and actually saved their life because they felt that their owner was going through stuff like a heart attack or something, and he started making noise and started pushing him, and that was kind of an alert. In some cases, I've heard to avoid having that heart attack. The dog was already alerting him. They felt something. So I commend the owners that have actually have animals that have saved their lives, and also for the animals that are with our police. They have them for years, and they go through their burial service when they pass. I mean, it's their buddy. They drive
Yes.
in their squad cars with them.
That's right. That's right.
I met one. They took him to church, and it was from the Lake County Sheriff's Department. One of our fallen officers had died in the line of duty. He was shot. It was an accident. It was in the hospital. And of course, he was a member of our church. So we had a huge service. It was a lot of people attended, and there was a lot of county officers there. And this officer is not from, was originally from out here, but he drove hours to get here and brought the animal. I have a picture with him and his dog, and they're so attentive. They're so well trained.
They are. They are. They go
I,
through hours and hours and hours of training.
I mean, man, if an animal could talk, what would he say? We're interviewing human beings, right? And hearing what it's like to be in their shoes, what it's like to be a day of service as they are in service, whether it's a fireman, a police officer, a doctor, a nurse. What is it like to be in their shoes? What is it like to be an animal or a dog that is out there sniffing what can be dangerous, right? Or trying to find a person under rubbles,
That's
you
true.
know? They also risk their lives.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one thing about, I think most dogs, I know my dog in particular, his breed is, they are bred, or it's their instincts to put themselves in front of danger of their owners, or, I'm going to say for me, that's my son. He puts himself in
Hunter is your
front of
son.
danger. Yeah,
Yeah, and kudos to Hunter, and kudos to those that really take care of their mascots, their animals, their kids. If that's what they call them. I got to respect that. Kudos to you because some actually have animal cruelty. I personally don't like having animals in my house. Doesn't mean I got to mistreat them.
absolutely.
You
They
know, it's it's sad to see, but also what I'm seeing is many people value an animal more than they value human life. So, you
that's,
know,
that's true. That's true, and I guess it depends on. Um, I guess it's because the way they see that, well, dogs can't fend for themselves. They fend for themselves, but they are like kids. They're innocent.
right,
They're only
right.
gonna they're only going to do as much as they will. How can I say this? They will. Well, let me start all over again. They give you unconditional love, no matter what. No matter what.
Yeah.
It's like my dog. He gives me unconditional love. Where you give a human, everything you, let's say everything you give to a dog, you treat them well, you feed them this and that, but the human themselves will backstab you or whatever. But that's no excuse for them,
Right.
for you not to treat them that way. But again, that's what, I guess sometimes people, they get tired of that type of being treated by a human. So that's why I guess they treat dogs, because they know that dogs are like kids. They can't really defend themselves. You kick them and kick them, And they might not defend themselves by biting you, but we're a human. They'll pick up a stick and then they'll retaliate and hit you with a stick or something in that. But
Right, right, right. So in this show today, we do not have a guest, as you can see. We are
yes,
looking for guests. Some are coming on, but they had challenging schedules, especially when they are part of state police, like the superintendent. We will be bringing Superintendent Carter in the near future. And for those of you that watched the show with Major Jerry Williams, he is now the interim chief of police for Gary, Indiana. He says, I'm not going to be here in Gary for a long time, as in the word interim says that he's
right.
only there temporary. So kudos to him, and I commend him for all his work that he's doing. And I know that it's a lot of work. There's a lot of work, and if he's watching, thank you for checking up on me, and thank you for following up on some cases that I have pending, not personally but professionally in Gary, Indiana. And so that says that he's a man of his word, and he is serving. And I have to give credit where credit is due for people that are in a profession that follows up. That to me speaks volume.
Oh,
Following up, that a lot of people do that. But in
that's
this
so
show
true.
today, we're going to discuss what type of heroes we have. Do you know a hero, Agustin? Have you spoken to a hero in your personal life that we have not brought here on the radio? I mean, on the radio, yeah, on the show, that you feel that they are heroes, but they don't feel like they are
I can't think of anybody off
because they're so
here.
modest. They don't call themselves heroes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and who I am going to invite. Let me get her name. She was actually in the 9/11. She is an author. She is into fitness, and so I will be inviting her to come on our show. We want to hear her story. I don't want to just read the book. I want to hear it from her, right?
Absolutely.
I think it's interesting to hear what it's like to be in chaos. I mean, everybody asks, so where were you when 9/11 hit, when those twin towers got hit in the Pentagon? We all remember where we were.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, if we remember, can you imagine being reminded every year of where they were in those buildings?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Those that have survived.
Yeah. They must be reliving it over and over and over again.
I'm sure that I won't say that it gets easier or that it gets harder, but I'm sure that it's impossible to really not think about it. So yeah, I'm going to be bringing her. I'm trying to find her, but she's amazing. She has a book that she just put out there, and she talks about what she's gone through and having to be a victim, a hero, because she also helped save lives there. But also, she lost a loved one, a child, during that whole time. So,
That's
but she looks amazing. She's fit. She does her videos of working out, but she's an author and she's doing her thing, and most of all, I think what I find it appreciative is that they share their story. What was it like? I want to know what was it like, not too much for saying, oh, we're going to get more likes or we're going to get more followers or more subscribers because of who we're bringing, is to feel what was it like? I mean, I can't imagine me running and seeing all the people full of ashes. They're all powdered white. I remember seeing that,
my
and it's devastating.
yeah. My
And
sister
that's
was there at the time.
your sister.
She was there at in New York at the time. She was in med school at New York University, and she said that when that happened, she was walking down the street, and I'm not sure if she heard the explosion or the rumble, but she said she felt it, and she saw people running towards her, and
Mm,
and then she saw the cloud of dust that was like in the background. So she was there, she experienced it, but I'm just, it's like you said, it's reliving it every year on the anniversary, and it's it is painful. It is painful, because you just think about, have you ever had any incidences that you came close to death? Let me put it that way.
Mm.
And when you think about that, you kind of like think about, what if, like, it's nothing near it, but you think about how your whole life could have ended or changed. And if you're ever in a situation like myself, one day I was crossing the street and I had the light and I walked. And as I was walking, this car went through the light and made the turn.
Mm.
And this lady that was at the stoplight behind me screamed. It was the summertime, so loud, because she thought I was going to get hit, that I had to move myself back like this. And the car just basically, I felt like the mirror just brushing up against me. Had I not, but again, it's like split second, anything gonna happen. Same thing with her. What
Anything
if?
can happen. You're right.
What if she didn't? She was there. She wasn't able to leave. Something, But it's even like some of these people. They said, you know, um, they were supposed to be on the plane, and the plane crashed,
Hmm.
and said they missed it. They missed their flight, whatever. In there, but I want to hear her story. I'm curious to hear her story on,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happened.
I do too. And we have to learn to have empathy towards others, not feeling sorry for them, but empathy towards others. But we
Absolutely.
learn from what they've gone through. Like when we had the neonatologist, Dr. Chandra,
Yeah.
Satish Chandra, I'd like to actually invite a nurse, the one that actually carries the baby, feeds the baby, connects them to all these machines or disconnects them. What is it like in their life? So I'm actually going to reach out. I've been thinking about it this week, and I said, I need to reach out with Dr. Chandra to bring us a nurse from um, neonatal, that is in the NICU, as far as the NICU, that's what they call it, NICU, what it's like. I, as a parent, got to see it myself. They're heroes
Oh,
because they're there to console. The doctor goes in, checks, and walks out, right? Or if there's some surgery that's needed. But the nurses are there carrying day in and day out and see those babies growing or getting worse. And now they have to be there for the parents. When you have preemies and they're in the NICU, the parents become family, become friends, and they are consoling each other, supporting each other, spending time together. Because when you're there and your child's there, you're there every day.
absolutely.
I was there every day. My baby was not born that little, but she was small enough that she needed to stay in the NICU. She needed to stay in the neonatal department. She was a preemie. She was 4 pounds, 5 ounces. She wasn't fully developed. She was born at 7 months. And I got to meet other parents. I got to see emergencies. Devastating to see a broken parent that they're rushing their baby now to another hospital. They got to fly him out
Yeah.
because they don't have the necessary equipment there to do what they need to do. That is a hero right there. What is it like to be that nurse that cares for the baby in the NIC unit? And have they seen a baby pass in the NIC unit? I mean, that is also devastating, especially
It
when
is-
they're a parent themselves.
yes, I know of a person that their grandchild right now is loaded, not loaded. I'm saying connected to breathing and everything. And it's, you know, I've seen pictures, and you know, I know the person very well, and I feel for the I feel for the parents, I feel for the grandparent, and most I'll pray for the child, you know, to be able to develop and be able to be supported, you know, be able to be, you know, their lungs develop, and you know, whatever else has to be developed so they can, because there was an incident where they took them off the breathing, and the child was having a hard time breathing, that they had to reconnect them um, to be intubated again, I want to say. So that's very hard to see your child going through that, that
Yeah.
you cannot breathe on your own.
And you need the machine. You need a whole bunch of tubes connecting to the baby, or now the baby is now on heart surgery number 5,
Yes.
number 6. The heroes, true heroes, are the parents that have to live through that and be okay when they leave their baby there to go about their lives outside their hospital, the hospital that their babies are in.
That must be devastating.
Well, knowing that my baby was not as bad as other babies, and when I mean bad is in the state of their health. She was connected to a heart monitor. She had apnea. Her heart would stop. She would stop breathing, so that heart monitor would be so loud, like an alarm, to startle her to come back to breathing. She was fed through the nose, because everything would come right back out, and just seeing a baby with a tube being fed through the nose, and then when they pull it out, they're like, "Oh, she doesn't feel it." I'm like, "How could you say she doesn't feel it? She went like this when you pulled it out, right?" But nurses get used to that, so they don't want to feel that they feel something, right? So they're like, "No,
They
she's
don't
not
know
feeling
because
anything."
they
I'm
haven't.
like,
I,
"She's not feeling anything. Why did she do that, right?" But other babies were so small, 1 pounders, 1 pounders. They're
I,
the size. I think my hand is probably bigger
yeah,
than the baby.
yeah. I
And and
remember.
and the parents are the true heroes that have to depart from their child, because one, they have to work, two, they have other children. They can't stay there 24/7. They have life out here that they have to take care of, especially those parents that have other children to care for. It's got to be devastating. It was for me, and she was only there for 2 weeks, and those were long 2 weeks. And I had a boy, so I had another child that I had to take care of as well. So we had split ourselves. Our mind is on our child, our oldest, but our mind was also on the one that was in the NICU, the preemie, right? Those are true heroes. So I want to say kudos, I commend you parents that are have been taking care of your preemie baby, that have been through it and have lived through it, and now your baby is fine and healthy and awesome and now running. you
Yes,
know that has to be very, very devastating.
yes.
Yes, yes, Valerie. Yes, Valerie's saying she's seen a 1 pound baby, very tiny. You're absolutely right. They're very tiny, that you just kind of like, if I hold them, will I hurt them? Especially if they're all connected. I saw a video the other day, and they had a baby, trying to put the baby near the father's chest. Well, they had to unplug and plug, and they were so cautious, so careful. And that's what I really, hopefully in the next few weeks, we will bring in one of those nurses that are in the NIC unit to tell you what it's like to be in their shoes. Do they go home with it? You know, or are they able to be okay once they leave the hospital and come home?
You know what would be really interesting is to talk to a mother that had a baby
Oh,
that went through
definitely.
this.
I want to talk to a mother, and I think I may know a few. Like I told you, when mine was in the NIC unit, I got to meet other parents, and we got to know each other and say hello, because we're neighbors. I mean, we're caring for our preemie. So I'm sure we can. If you guys know of a mom that had a preemie, like a 1 pounder, 2 pounder, that may have lived, the child lived or may not, we want to bring them here on this show. So for those of you that are watching, if you know of a hero that has gone through that, or um, not too long ago or some time ago and give us a story, we would love to bring them here on the Face of a Hero. And we're talking about different types of heroes. I would say also a hero can be a teacher. We
That's
have some good ones and we got some not so good ones, guys. You know, I'm telling you the truth. There are some teachers that are heroes. I see some of them when I go into schools, and we'd like to invite a teacher as a hero because there are some teachers that will go out of their way, Agustin,
oh yeah.
out of their way. If they know a child hasn't been eating, they'll come and bring something. I mean, they buy their own supplies, the school supplies sometimes, but a
Yes.
true hero is a child, is a teacher that has patience, that has nothing but love for the kids, like if it was their own.
They
I
become
don't
like
see
second
that
parents.
often. A second parent, exactly. And unfortunately, there are some parents that actually want their teacher to be more the parent than the teacher. I've seen that too. But some teachers really go out of their way. And if you guys know that teacher that is a hero, please contact her or him. And this is our website, thefaceofahero.com. And our phone number is 773-809-0106. That's the hotline to come on this show, The Face of a Hero.
That's right.
It's not about us, it's about the story about that hero. What is it like to be in their shoes?
We want
What
to
is
hear.
it?
We want
Exactly.
to hear.
What is another type of hero, Agustin, where people don't normally think that they can be a hero? And I know that some people are modest and very humble and they don't believe they're heroes, but they are,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
We got
they are.
we got heroes from all walks of life, and it can be anything. It could be somebody at a store. Let's say if they see somebody that comes in that's always short on money, and they're just barely making it to buy groceries. And it might be a store owner, it might be somebody that says, you know what, here, take this food, and or just pay me next time, or I'm charging you half price, because they are, how can I say, they're humane about their their neighbor. I'm going to say their customers. It's like same thing with the teacher. The teacher, she sees a child's in need, so what they do, they provide for them.
Mhm,
Store owner provides for that person too. And I've
mhm.
seen it, and a true hero is one that will do it, but won't take their phone and videotape it.
Hello. We're not spectators, right?
Yes, it's like,
Yeah, yeah. And you know, there are some neighbors that really, really look out for the elderly.
yes,
They call on them. They make sure that they're not left alone. They make sure that they have something to eat. They make sure that they make that call just to say, hello, how are you doing? That is also a hero. If that is you that's watching, get a hold of us. We want to talk to you. And you know, this platform again is for heroes, but mainly, I will say this, God gave me this show, and now here we are, was because of the loss of respect and empathy for our men and women in blue. We do have some that are in need of training,
hmm,
proper training, or more training, because we do racial profiling, police brutality, discrimination, racism, and all of that in the police force. I've seen it. I've been a witness to it, and I'm not going to say, well, you deserve to be fired. Is let's get some more training. Let's get some proper training into those departments. We don't know everything, and sometimes problems arise and not know how to solve that problem or change the situation until it happens. It's sad. I'm a proactive person. I'd rather be proactive than reactive. Don't wait until something happens, guys. And as you guys have seen, for safety, on my other show, on the Real Talk with EVE, I've brought in a friend of mine I worked with for safety. Those two are heroes, the ones that are always looking for safety for their employees, safety for their clients, safety and safety in so many different ways. As you guys been learning from David Ward, safety is in so many different ways, from food to keeping the right lighting, to keeping a fire hydrant near wherever they need to be, or the fire extinguishers in places that they need to be. We don't always think about that. And we were talking about, I was thinking, and I think this would be a nice block party, block as in your block, your neighborhood, doing a, how we do it in school, the tornado drills, the fire drills,
Yes.
do it in a community. See how each neighbor helps each other as a drill. Be each other's hero. Don't wait until it happens. Practice it. And then at the end, we'll have a great cookout. How long did it take us to come out? Was our neighbors home? If they were home, what should our neighbors do? Do they even know what to do to save us?
Right.
Do our neighbors have what they need? Meaning, what if my house is caught on fire? Does my neighbor have what I need? Are they prepared for a fire hazard? Are they prepared for a earthquake, a tornado? Well, here in this area, we really don't have earthquakes, but are we prepared? Right. So let's be a hero even for ourselves by preparing. Preparation is everything, right? So these are different types of heroes that some may not even think about until now we're bringing it up.
That's right.
We're not going to be here too long. Usually our show is for an hour, but we want to make sure that we're here and we're consistent with this show, because it's not about us. It's about what we bring solutions to the table, but through people's stories. The things that police officers go through, the things that firemen go through. I don't think we've brought a fireman on just yet, have we?
No, we haven't. We brought in. No, we didn't even bring in a paramedic on either.
We haven't brought a paramedic, but I know that Herbie Cruz was in the fire department before.
Yeah.
And he's about safety as well.
Yeah. I was just real quick. We're talking about heroes. So I just pulled up real quick on a dictionary. Hero, a person who is admired or idolized for courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities.
You know why I'm laughing? Because wait, I pulled up the same thing.
See? Great minds think alike.
Think alike, exactly. That have the courage.
Or noble qualities.
Noble qualities.
Well,
here's 12 characteristics of heroism. Not heroin, people. Heroism. Bravery, conviction, courage, determination, helpful, honesty, inspirational, moral integrity.
Moral integrity.
We know some people that have that. Maybe not that many, but we
not
know some.
Not that many anymore.
And that we need to, I think all of us need to work on being somebody's hero. A big brother or big sister could be the hero to the little brother or little sister.
That's right.
And here are some examples of things that you can do to be a hero each and every day, guys. I hope you guys are taking notes here, all right? Always be on guard. I'm always on the lookout for an accident, to either stay away from it or from happening, or, me causing it. You must first have the mindset of a hero. Help your loved ones. Be kind to strangers. Find a cause you believe in. And every penny counts. And inspire other heroes. I like that. Here's some adjectives to describe a hero: courageous, valiant, brave, gallant, valorous, fearless, manful, and doughty. Sometimes we don't even look up what a word means, and we just think it means one thing until you actually go in and it breaks it down, people. Hero. Define a hero: a mythological or legendary figure, often of divine descent, endowed with great strength or ability. An illustrious warrior, a person admired for achievements and noble qualities, one who shows great courage. Can you be that hero? Are you that hero to your children, in the community, to your coworkers. Are you that hero? So many people say, why should I care? They're not
Exactly.
my kids. They're not my family. That's not my department. Why should I care? That mentality is a sick one. You're part of the problem if you think that way.
They're always thinking there's selfishness. And going back to this, I'm going to the next one. It said, what makes a person a hero? A hero was selfless, a genuinely good person, and someone gets the undivided attention of all of us and causes change. Someone willing to risk their own life to save another.
There you go. Risk their own life to save another.
Those are the men in blue and the men in red.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we need to always be on guard, people. Be on the lookout. Be mindful. Be mindful of someone in need of help.
Yeah, it's a crazy world out there right now.
Be kind to strangers. I love being kind. I kill people with kindness. It's better that way than to hate them. Hate is just too much negative energy, and it takes too much energy, period. Then you're feeling all ill in your heart. So we got to be kind to strangers. Find a cause you believe in. Um, some people actually believe that training dogs is actually helpful because now they're helping the owners of the dog care better for their dogs, and they understand how to treat them, how to tell them to do things, and they learn, right?
Yep.
Then how many of you have actually helped a homeless person? You could be that hero to that homeless person, or to the person that doesn't have any family. That one conversation that they've had for the day may have been you. That's also a hero. We do it without thinking. But how many of you actually do that? Or how many of us pass by and see a homeless person down on Randolph Street, Michigan Street, Wacker, Lower Wacker, Upper Wacker, and we just keep walking? Or do we check our pockets, our purse, our wallets? I may have $1, I may have 50 cents. That's me. Every time I go park downtown, there's always a homeless person by the door where you go in to go and pay your ticket.
The parking.
Get out, a parking ticket to get out. There's always a homeless person there. I won't say it's always the same one, but there's always one. And sometimes I'm looking, do I have $1, 50 cents, something? We think, this is how humans think. We're supporting their alcoholism. We're supporting their drug addiction. Haz el bien sin mirar a quién. Do the good without looking to see who you're doing the good to. God sees what you're doing. And so if we think like that, we help less people. Oh, they don't need it. I need it more than they do. For all we know, they're probably disguised and they're not really homeless. We don't know that. We have to change that mindset. Be somebody's hero and let us know how it turned out. Tell your story here. Where? On the Face of a Hero. And what's our number, Agustin?
Our number is 773-809-0106 or 0106.
That's right. And parents, if you have grandbabies, those grandbabies can be your hero too, because they're bringing love, light, laughter, joy, happiness to you.
Unconditional love.
I don't know what it's like to be a grandmother, and I'm certainly not in a rush to become one. But if it happens when it happens, and I'm sure that there will be a lot of love and joy and happiness. But children bring happiness, bring love, and sometimes a headache. Sometimes you want to pull your hair, but they can be your hero as well. Let me tell you, my son at age 4, I don't know if he'll be watching this show or not. At age 4, I taught my kids to speak both English and Spanish back and forth. Some people thought I was cray cray. I was moving their lips as I'm talking so they can see me, and I'm moving their lips so they know how to enunciate. And I would say it in one language, and I turn around and saying it in the other language because my dad spoke broken English and my mom didn't speak English, so they had to speak Spanish to them. My dad, mom, and my son, he was 4 years young, had a car accident. my son at 4. And I take pride in saying that because I invested my time in teaching him. Don't wait until they get to school. It's a little late. I
Right.
taught him his name, and his last name is 10 letters long. And he's 3 years old and know how to spell his last name, 10 letters long. He knew his phone number. He knew his grandparents' phone number. He knew his address. He knew his grandparents' address. And I was so thankful that he knew all that, because when the paramedics came, my dad was so shook up. He couldn't even barely speak. He could barely say anything. My mom, certainly, she had banged up on the windshield. Um, she probably wasn't able to say anything, let alone speak English, because she didn't know how to. And the sheriff called, and I was pregnant with my daughter. The sheriff called, left me a voicemail. I'm waiting and waiting for them to get back because I had a parent teacher meeting, and my parents were driving back home from being down in the boonies. And when I showed up at the hospital, they asked me, "Your son gave us all this information. Is this information correct?" They were shocked. I said, "Yes, he gave you the right information. Their grandparents' names, phone numbers, and addresses." That's how they knew to call me.
That's the 4-year-old hero.
A 4-year-old hero. I mean, our kids can be our heroes, and that
Absolutely.
he was the hero. That that was very commendable. But it took in teaching the child. Parents, take time to teach your children. Don't wait until the teacher tries to educate them and
No,
teach them their ABCs. They should know that already before they make it to school. Teach them how to count, how to read. The first word that came out of my son was Valvoline, the oil.
you're kidding.
Nope. My ex-husband and I were, I think it was Walmart or Target, and he was in the cart, and I'm pushing him, and all of a sudden I hear him go, Valvoline. And my ex-husband and I looked, and I said, "Did you hear what he just said? What did you say?" And he's pointing to the container of oil, and he's reading Valvoline, and he was only 2. And I was like, "Whoa, we got a little genius here, right?" But you have to invest in your kids. They're your heroes too, parents.
That's right.
We as parents can't always be the heroes. Children can be your
Sure.
hero too. And
Education begins at home.
it does. And before your child is born, have them listen to classical music, read to them. You'd be surprised how they come out with knowledge, with love, with kindness.
My daughter was a dancer in my wife's belly. She came out dancing. She was
Look at
always,
her. And
always
she
movement.
dances beautifully. She got happy feet. That's what I call dancers,
Yes.
happy feet, because I got happy feet. So, guys, these are different types of heroes. If you know someone that you feel that we need to bring on this show, please reach out to us. You guys know how to reach me. The phone number's right there. Our
That's right.
website is right there. And let us know.
And the
And
minutes are free.
and
Your
exactly.
minutes are not charged like they were back in the old school, where you had to wait till after 9 o'clock at night so you get free minutes.
Boy, do I know about that. My bills was high. I had a Meritech. My bill was high. I had Primeco. Primeco was the purple Martian. I had limited minutes, but because I was in the mortgage industry, guess what? My minutes were always over. And I spend hundreds of dollars a month on my cell phone. So I am so glad that, but some people still have home phones. So
Yep.
but you guys can come on from your smartphone or your laptop or your tablet here on the show. If you have someone that says, "Well, I don't want to be seen," I'll respect that. We won't have to show your face as
No,
long as we can hear you.
that's right.
And and I'm going to bring Sam Sharmila as a hero and her team. I want to say this before this show ends. I'm also part of a human trafficking non-for-profit, Rahab's Daughter. I partner with them to help bring awareness. I was with another organization, and I've been working with this one, sharing information, disseminating their information. I had already interviewed Sam Sharmila on my other show, but she's a hero, and the team is a hero, and I want to, excuse me, bring a couple of them on this show because what they just did during the time that all of you watched the Super Bowl, I didn't make time for that. Did you watch the Super Bowl game?
Nope. Not even the halftime show.
Well, I heard it wasn't so good with Brianna, but anyway, let me just say this. Kudos to the team that was with boots on the ground that were out there rescuing victims of human trafficking at the Super Bowl game.
At the Super,
Last year, they rescued 40 women and children at the Super Bowl.
and see, that's something you don't hear about.
And they are heroes. They are heroes. So we need to bring more awareness out there. And I'm going to bring them. Sam is in Canada. They opened up in Canada now. They're an international organization, rahabsdaughter.org. If you know your Bible, you know how to spell it, rahabsdaughter.org. And as a matter of fact, Sam was too a victim of human trafficking. She is a survivor of human trafficking. And we will bring a survivor, but we will not show camera because we have to protect their identity for their own safety and protection. And so I just wanted to say, it would be remiss if I did not say it because it just happened on Super Bowl Sunday. We don't know how many they've rescued. I have not reached out to them because they're just now getting back. The first team was out there a week before. They show up at the airports as well, in parlors, massage parlors, and other places. So you'd be surprised what you hear, but I want to bring them here as heroes. What is it like while you're out there at the Super Bowl looking for soon to be survivors?
Yeah. One of the largest, I'm going to call it an entertainment show in the world. And this is what's going on behind the scenes.
While you all were celebrating, drinking and pizza, hot dogs and parties and being at the game and spending your money, we had these heroes there to rescue them. And that is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
Human trafficking.
Yeah. Sure
and
is.
it's happening in your neighborhood. Don't play that blinded eye and say it doesn't happen here. Excuse me, you are wrong. Capital WRONG, wrong. It happens everywhere. So we need to bring more awareness. So I want to just thank Sam and her husband for doing what they're doing and for opening up these doors to bring in more people to volunteer. They're always looking people for volunteer, but they have some extreme training, let me tell you. Very in-depth training. You can't just have anybody just jump in and say, okay, I want to volunteer. I am in the marketing and media. I have to go through training too. And I'm not there, boots on the ground. I'm not there at the forefront. I'm not there to speak to them. Now, I have been a mentor to survivors of domestic violence or sexual assault, what have you. But, you know, human trafficking is so many different ways of it being victims of human trafficking. Some ways that you may not even know. So we're going to bring them here because I want to thank them here publicly, and I'm thanking them now for what they're doing. I would like to know what it's like to be there, to be at the Super Bowl game. What is it like? Are you afraid? Because it's a dangerous job.
Absolutely, because you have some high profile individuals that participate in this.
That's right, Valerie. Earth angels are everywhere. That's absolutely right. And so we'd like for you to share these shows, share them so that others can learn and bring awareness. And if they watch it and they say, hey, I know the hero, well, call us. What's the phone number once again, Agustin?
773-809-0106.
And we're going to respond back to you. If you're watching this show live right now, we thank you for joining us. We're on, when are we on? When is our show, Agustin?
Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Right. And to our LinkedIn friends, we thank you for watching us. To our YouTubers, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is called The Face of a Hero. Subscribe to that channel. And it's also on Facebook. Follow us, like us on Facebook. We have joined with other police forces, other organizations from Chicago and other states to promote what they're doing, all the good things that they're doing in the community. And kudos to everyone that's out there serving and being that officer friendly, being that mentor to our kids, the first responders or the heroes, to be there for our youth. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know what it's like to be there. And so let's continue to serve. And with that, Agustin, I got things to do now. On to the next thing.
Absolutely. I got things to do myself, but
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us
thank
here.
you.
We appreciate you, your comments, your questions. Just keep sharing. And we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much.
Till
Right?
next.
Till next time, Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time here on The Face of a Hero. Until then, nos vemos. Take care. Be safe.
Bye.